Now today I'm doing something I haven't done before, and that's reviewing my own car. This is an Audi A7 TDI. The one you see here is in Havana Black. It's the Technique package, that's the higher end trim level with S-Line. S-Line gets you the 20-inch wheels. Inside it gets you the brushed aluminum look across the dashboard and the center console. Also slightly different skirts along the side and a deeper front chin spoiler. A much more aggressive looking package without having to go to a real S7 or an RS7. But what I love about this car, and the reason why we chose it as a family vehicle and also a business vehicle, is because of what's under the hood. This car comes with the 3-liter turbocharged TDI engine. That's a diesel engine. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted this car. There were several cars in the running. Well, I've had 5 BMWs in the past. I had 2 7 Series, so I've had a big BMW before, an X5. Then we went from BMW to a Porsche Cayenne. That was our last vehicle. And we wanted to get back into a sedan again, but not to have a traditional boring looking sedan like we've had in the past with 5 Series and 7 Series. So we kicked it around. What was really driving the decision was the engine. Which vehicles have a diesel available, because I love the torque and I love the fuel economy. And I particularly like the Volkswagen Group diesel that's available in the Volkswagen, Porsche and Audi vehicles. So we thought about getting another Cayenne and decided against that, and really came back to this car because we took it on a long road trip for 1,000 kilometers and fell in love with the design, but also with the engine. So the A7 was a real top contender. And then we lived with the vehicle for a week as a test drive, and what really sealed the deal was the big hatch around the back. So you have the utility of the big hatch like an SUV. You have the handling of a car, you have the same engine that's available in the Cayenne diesel, all wrapped in a pretty sexy looking package. And that's another thing about this car. It looks like nothing else on the road. Sure, there are other coupe-like sedans, but this one has the hatchback, and I think it's just a beautiful looking car, especially from the front and from the back. So those are the reasons why we chose this car. Now, there's no question when you look at the inside of this car, it is a premium product. It has beautiful fit and finish. As I mentioned at the beginning, if you get the S-Line, you get the brushed aluminum treatment here. Usually it comes with wood. We tried the wood with the press car that I got to drive, and it looked a little bit too old manish. So this one is a little bit younger and hipper. Got the screen here in the center console. That can duck away. Where's the button? I don't use it very often. There it is. That can duck away. That's actually nice on a long road trip to hide that away so you're not staring at it all the time. Now this Technique has heated and cooled front seats, and the big upside is heated seats in the back, which is a major plus for kids. The MMI system is really quite easy to use. It's got buttons around here, Navi, telephone, radio, and media. It also has car, and I'll get into that in a moment when I'm driving the car, settings for individual settings from the Drive Select system. And this system really is easy to understand after you've used it for a while. Of course, redundant system on the steering wheel, which is heated. Of course, there's a trackpad here that you have 1 through 6. These are presets for the radio. You can actually write someone's name on there, like Zack, Z-A-C-K. You can put that in and it'll search for you just by typing on there. Now the back seat was a bit of a struggle for us. We really had to get our heads around, is this car going to be big enough for 2 growing kids, especially coming out of an SUV with the sloped roof, the cropped roof line. We really struggled with it, but the reality is now that we have this car, it's absolutely fine. I can fit back there. I'm 6 feet tall, but my torso is quite a bit longer, so probably the torso of somebody's like 6'2". Now, yes, I'm getting near the top of the roof there, but if you sit and scrunch down a little bit, no problem at all. But for kids, unless they're up to 6 feet tall, can fit back there, no problem. And it's very comfortable on a long road trip. What don't I like about the inside of this car? Well, I gotta tell you, the seats are pretty comfortable initially, but on long road trips they're a bit firm. And some silly things like to get the USB, there's only one plug, and you have to buy a plug to make it work inside the car. There's no USBs in the back seat. You can only plug one thing in at a time, especially if you're using it for Apple products. So they really need to up the ante when it comes to devices to plug into the car. Other than that, it's pretty fabulous in here. So the base A7 is available with a TFSI 3-liter 6-cylinder gasoline engine, and it's a beautiful power plant, 333 horsepower and 325 foot-pounds of torque. So why did I decide to buy the TDI version of this Audi A7, which is more expensive? It costs about $2,500 more to get the TDI engine. Well, because I live in the city, and I do 90% of my driving in the city, and I love torque. I love what gets you up and away from a stoplight and moves you into traffic effortlessly, and a diesel engine does that. This car has 428 foot-pounds of torque. So what it has is the power of a V8 gasoline engine, but the fuel efficiency of a 4-cylinder, and it really does deliver on both counts. This car just gets up and away and out of the pocket like that. What I do is when I come to a stop sign, I put the car, and the great thing about the transmission is you just toggle the shifter down and you're in sport mode. You want to toggle back, you just push it down again. It's very simple to do that. So get it into sport mode, and then you can preload the brakes, put a little torque into the engine, lift your foot off the brake, and this thing jets away like it's got launch control. So it's a lot of fun to drive in the city. There's not very many cars that are going to beat me from one end of the traffic intersection to the other. With 428 foot-pounds of torque, low and mid-range torque is unbelievable. You want to change lanes, get around somebody, you just put your foot into it, and this car just jets away. Now, it doesn't have a dual-clutch automatic transmission like you would get, say, in other Audi products or Volkswagen or Porsche for that matter in their Panamera. This car uses a conventional automatic, a Tiptronic unit, because it can handle all of that torque, and it makes the shifts uber smooth. So this car leans more on the luxury side than it does on the sporty side, even though it's got a very performance-oriented diesel engine. The ride is what I would call a combination of pure luxury and handling and performance. You also have the ability with this car to dial in the settings the way you want with what's called Drive Select, and it does work, except for the steering is not nearly as precise as, say, you got a 7 Series or a 5 Series from BMW, but this car you have to take on its whole, and sure, there are some it's not a bad system, but you have to take it in its whole, and I'm willing to live with a slightly more numb feeling steering because I get all that beautiful power from the engine. Now, on fuel economy, as I mentioned, mostly city driving, some runs on the highway. Our previous car, a Cayenne, Porsche Cayenne, we were getting a horrendous fuel economy, 19 liters per 100K. This car gets 12 liters per 100K, averaged out the whole time that we've been driving it. But when you get it on the highway, the fuel economy is so good. You can get 7.5, 8 liters per 100K, big full-size car, all-wheel drive, pure luxury, but the fuel economy is like something out of a 4-cylinder, but the power of a V8, and that's why I wanted a diesel so badly. Now, here's the acid test to any car. Would you buy it again? Would you go down the same road again? I'll put it this way. My wife loves this car so much. She says, when we give it back, we're getting another one, but it's going to be red. So there's your answer. Now, I should point out that Audi has just brought out a 2016 model. There were months and months and months where you couldn't get an Audi A7 because they did a very minor facelift for 2015, and then they've done a slightly bigger facelift for 2016 with different headlights and different tail lights and a slightly different grille. But the reality is it's the same car with a bit of cosmetic upgrades. Now, pricing on this car has changed as well. It's gone up a little bit, mostly because of the low Canadian dollar. I figure it's gone up about $2,000 over the previous model. So the Audi A7 starts at $74,500. That's for the gas version. If you want to get the TDI, that starts at $76,000. It's a $2,500 premium to get the TDI engine. The full load, the one that I have, is $84,000. That's with S-Line and TDI with the Technique. So this is not an inexpensive vehicle. It competes actually with the A6. The A6 is exactly $10,000 less. So you spend $10,000 more to get the coupe look and the hatchback. And for many people, the style alone is worth it. The CLS from Mercedes is more money, and the 6 Series Grand Coupe is much more expensive, and they are not available, at least the BMW isn't available with the diesel engine. We're thrilled with this car. A few little things they could work on, but overall, my wife is the one who drives it 90% of the time, and she's not getting rid of it anytime soon.